Jai Srimanarayana, Hare Krishna. So, as per our last discussion, we're going to cover the most important slokas of Bhagavad Gita, considering the time that we have, considering the time that I have. Uh, so, I'm going to cover only the most important slokas. It is 108 slokas of Bhagavad Gita. It is not something which I have decided that these slokas are very important. Is not as per my whimsical ideology. It is as per the acharyas, the great acharyas, great Vaishnavas, and different Advaita acharyas have considered some slokas are very important. So based on that, I am going to take upon the next sloka. That would be chapter two. So in chapter two, we're going to look at the seventh sloka. Okay, I'm sure you people would be having Bhagavad Gita copies and Bhagavad Gita books, and also you can download PDF copies from Google. So let's go ahead and look at the next sloka. That is, once again I repeat, it is chapter number 2 and seventh sloka. So I before I go ahead and talk about or try to explain about the seventh sloka of Bhagavad Gita, I would want to tell you what really happens after the first sloka of Bhagavad Gita in the first chapter. I want to tell you what are the other things that happen in a very quick way so that we don't miss the things that have happened in the Bhagavad Gita from chapter 1, verse 1 to chapter 2 to 7th verse. So I will quickly tell you what all kind of things happen. So after Dhritarashtra asking the question, then what happens is uh, in the battlefield, both the armies blow the conch shells. Okay, so Lord Krishna blows the conch shell called Panchajanya, and then Arjuna blows the conch shell called Devadatta, and Bhima blows the conch shell called Poundam. Okay, so all the great warriors of both the sides blow the conch shells. So they blow the conch shells, and after blowing the conch shells, then even uh, the Kaurava army, okay, they also do blow the conch shells. You know, as we see in movies or in any kind of war kind of movies, there is some kind of sounds that are you know uh, generated, right? They blow the conch shells or they beat the drums and all these kind of things to indicate that we are ready for the war. So in the same way, these conch shells, bugles, trumpets, drums, and horns, they all were suddenly sounded. And yes, of course, prior to this, Pandavas, prior to Pandavas making the sounds of the conch shells, trumpets, and horns, of course, there was the sounds that was blown, that was sounded by Kauravas. Okay, so Kauravas do the you know they do the sound with the help of conch shells and all these different instruments, and then it was that sound to Duryodhana. That sound to Duryodhana sounds somewhat chaotic, like not in a very organized or in a streamlined way. They sound like in a disturbed way. The sound that the Kauravas make with the help of these blow the conch shells, the drums, okay, the trumpets, the drums, it sounds something chaotic. But the sound from the Pandavas, which is guided by the Supreme Lord Krishna, sounds very much effective. It sounds very much scary. It sounds very much. It actually makes him feel nervous. Okay, so he is very much afraid, especially of the Bhima. So he tells all these things to Dronacharya. Okay, and then he talks about the power. He talks about the power of both the armies. Okay, he talks power of both the armies. That here on this side we have Bhishmacharya, we have Dronacharya, we have Karna, and so many other warriors. And also he looks at the other side, that is Pandava's side, where he doesn't see that great power. Yes, the greatest fear for this for this uh, Duryodhana is because of Bhima, and the next one is Arjuna. Anyways, Krishna has said that he's not going to fight, so he is just going to be a person who, like a charioteer, nothing more than that. So his real nervousness is about these two people. So he talks about the power of both the armies to Dronacharya, and he also tries to taunt Dronacharya, saying that the army arranged by Drupada on the side of Pandavas is really very good in comparison with yours. He tries to taunt Dronacharya because that was to create more anger in Dronacharya, because Dronacharya trains Drupada, though he knows that Drupada is the person who can kill Dronacharya. So he's trying to taunt him and say that you have to be more careful with this Drupada and you have to kill him. He's trying to subtly or indirectly say that Drupada is the person who is going to kill you, and his arrangement, the military arrangement he has done, is really very good. So you have to be more careful about this person. So he tells this, and then Arjuna, after telling all these things, then Arjuna is the person uh, who sits on the chariot, which has been which is he sits in the chariot, which is going to be, or which was which was led by the great supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. So that chariot was really something very extraordinary. It was with four horses. That chariot and that horses looked really extraordinary. It was like a divine look. It was like a divine thing. It was with four horses, and that four horses looked as if the Supreme Lord was sitting on the four Vedas, right? Because there are four Vedas, right? So Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, Sama Veda. So it was that four horses depicting the four Vedas and Supreme Lord sitting on the Vedas, and he was trying to help the great warrior Arjuna. So that chariot was also having the flag of Hanuman, the great warrior who played a very pivotal role in the war between Rama and Ravana in Treta Yuga, right? And when Hanuman was there, I mean, with the help of Hanuman, they won the war, right? They won the war. So in the same way here, in this chariot, it had the Hanuman, Hanuman was there on the flag. Hanuman was designed or carved on the flag of the chariot. So it was somewhat clear that Pandavas are going to win the war, because it was Krishna who was sitting as a charioteer, and then there was Hanuman, just like Rama and Hanumanji were. Rama and Hanumanji won the war in the same way. Again, here Rama is born as Krishna, and Hanuman is obviously there on the chariot flag. So it was subtly indicating that that is, Pandavas are definitely going to win the war. And after this, then what happens? Arjuna says to Krishna, he says, Senor Uvayor Madhye Ratam Stapayame Achyuta. So he asks, O great Lord, O great Achyuta. Achyuta means someone who is inconceivable, someone who is infallible, someone who cannot be understood. So he asks the Supreme Lord Krishna, please draw my chariot between the two armies. and I want to see that who all people are planning to, give us a fight, who are here in this war field to fight with us, to fight with Pandavas. So he says this, and then Krishna takes the chariot in between, into the war field, and what happens? Arjuna, though he was ready for the war, he they really want to kill the Kauravas, right? And then they want to take the kingdom back. He wants to give an right revenge, so that the harassment that they have faced, the tortures that they have faced, he wants to give that revenge. But after going into the war field, where he could see all his people, this Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya, and his relatives, all his relatives, he completely fails. He is confused. He is nervous. He loses all his energy, and he says that I cannot fight this war. I cannot fight this war at all, because I cannot kill my own people. By killing my own people, how can I enjoy the kingdom that we get? How can I live my life without my relatives? How can I live my life without the great grandfather Bhishmacharya? How can I live my life without my guru who has taught me this archery? So he becomes really confused, and he says that that I cannot fight this war, and I don't want to fight this war, because if we fight this war and imagine we win the war, then what is the use of it? Because when I don't have my relatives, what is the use? And imagine if I have, or if my army has killed all this people, who are standing on the Kaurava side, then what happens? All the all the kings who have died, okay, all the kings who have died, then their wives become widows, and then without a good husband, without a husband, how will a woman live in the society? Then she will be exploited. She might be exploited, and because of that, the children who are born out of such kind of women, or the children who are already there in those families, will go deserted, will have no proper direction, and they all will become unwanted population to the society, and they will be doing all kind of heinous crimes, because there is no proper person to guide the children. So he comes up with all these reasons, and he says that I would I would rather get I would rather leave this war field. I would, leave this war, and or rather, I want to get killed unarmed, okay, unresisting, rather than fighting with them. So he tells this. He tells this, and he also probably, yeah, these are all the different justifications, or the statements that Arjuna gives to the Supreme Lord Krishna when he takes chariot in front of the Kauravas. Okay, so now we will. So after all these discussions, then I will tell you what this Arjuna says to Krishna. Okay, so now we are into the second sloka, that is second chapter, seventh sloka. So it goes like this: karpanya-dosopahata-svabhavah prachami tvam dharma samuddacheta yat ashreya syan nishchitam bruhitan me chishyasteham sadhimam tvam tapannam. So here Arjuna says karpanya, which means miserly. Dosha, dosha means, it's a kind of wrong thing or a weakness. Upahata, upahata means being inflected. So he says, I am confused about my duty. Prachami tvam dharma samudda cheta. Here he says, I am asking tvam, that is Krishna, you, dharma, which means the righteous thing. Okay. Samudda is I am confused. Cheta in my heart and mind. Yachreya. Okay. Here he says yat. What? Yat means what? Shreya. All good. Nishchitam. Confidently. And then he says Shishyas. That means I am your student. Teham. I am becoming your student. Sadhi mam. Sadhi means you tell me now. Twam. So I am surrendering into you. Prapannam. I am surrendering into you. So this is what he says. So he says in simple words, this is the word to word, meaning that I have tried to explain. So he says after all that different conversations that happened in the first chapter, he says finally, I am completely confused about what to do and what not to do. Okay, I am completely weak now, and I am surrendering unto you. I'm surrendering unto you. This is really very important. He says, Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. He says, Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. I am your student. You are my teacher. So you have to tell me what I have to do. I am a surrendered student in front of you. So you have to tell me what I have to do. So this is something really very important in our lives. Okay, let's first talk about this sloka, and then we'll talk about practical understanding of this sloka. So he says, I am a student, I am confused, I don't know what to do. So you tell me. This is what he is telling. So Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the incarnation or the personality of Godhead, Supreme Lord Narayana, who has incarnated as Lord Krishna, has never revealed any kind of great knowledge to Arjuna. Or rather, this Bhagavad Gita was never told to any person except Arjuna. And this was never told to Arjuna at any point of time. He knew Arjuna from very long time. But this Bhagavad Gita was told at the time of, let's say, some 100 or 105 years, something like that. And Arjuna was around 90 years. This was the age. So Krishna knew Arjuna from some 20 years or 25, from the age, their age, which was like some 25 years. From that time, they knew each other. But Krishna never revealed this wonderful divine knowledge. Says people say Bhagavad Gita is a religious texture, but it's not. It's not a religious text. It is a human manual. It's a manual for human race, the complete human race. It has got divine knowledge. It has got divine knowledge in it. Even the great leader Mahatma Gandhi also said that Bhagavad Gita is something which is very much enlightening for him every time he reads it. Every time he reads it, every time he is confused with his life, he used to read Bhagavad Gita and he used to find some kind of solution for it. So, this is a great manual that we all have to refer in our lives. So here the most important point is Krishna reveals this wonderful knowledge when Arjuna says, I am your student. Yasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. It's not like when Arjuna was in forest or when Arjuna became, when he's cursed by Urvashi. No, it's not at that point of time. Arjuna never surrendered in this way. He was completely confused now. He was completely disappointed with his life. He had no idea what to do. At that point of time, he says, I am messed up. I am confused. You please tell me. And at that point of time, Krishna enlightens him with real knowledge. That is Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So even for us in our practical lives, we try to give knowledge or we try to give some kind of enlightenment, some kind to some person or any person just because of some uh, compassion or something like that. But the other person will not consider the help that you're doing, right? If you are giving anything for free, nobody values the knowledge that you are giving. Nobody considers the importance of that thing or that object that you're giving. But if you are giving it to the right person at the right time, at the right place, and at the right situation, then he feels the value of it. Imagine you as a person or I as a person stand on the road and then tell to all people moving on the road, saying that this is the way to Charminar, this is the way to Secunderabad, this is the way to Nampally. You are telling this. So what would people think of you? You are trying to help people, okay? But what would people think about you? People think that you don't have any work. You are probably a mad person, right? Correct. But imagine a person comes to you and asks you what is the way to go to, let's say, Nampally or say Secunderabad, and you guide him. Then he thanks you and he shows the gratitude for you, right? So, in the same way, Krishna never reveals this great divine knowledge. He waits until Arjuna gets surrendered. He waits until Arjuna says, I am confused, I have no idea what to do, you have to help me. Then he tells the knowledge. Understanding? So, this is a very important sloka, and in this sloka, the most important thing is the last statement, Shishyasteham Sadhimam Pamparanna. Okay? So, for us, even we are confused in our lives at a number of times, right? We all know, we all see so many people today that they are confused, they're disappointed, they are stressed. And with this, what do? They go to some people and they give some advice. And then some people say that, okay, let's have a booze, let's have smoke, let's get intoxicated with some drugs, right? So this is how some people are. And that person who is suffering, who is stressed with his life, imagine he gets into intoxication, or he gets he takes drugs, or he boozes, he takes alcohol, and then his life becomes more messed up. He thinks that he is forgetting, he's trying to forget his problems, but indeed he is messing up his life more, right? So when you are messed up, when you are confused, you should actually know to whom should you go, to whom should you go and surrender, to whom should you go and say, boss, please tell me what should I do now. If you go to a wrong person and tell him that I am, confused, I need some advice, the wrong person will take you into a wrong direction. We are enough intelligent to understand who is a good person and who is a wrong person. Okay? Who has good habits and who has bad habits. Who is already messed up in his life and who is living a very simple, sattvic, and a good life. So you need to understand this. You need to understand this, and accordingly, you need to go to that person and take his advice. Okay. So this is very important sloka. So it says that one should go to a good person, a righteous person, who can advise you what you are supposed to do, the right who, so that you can do the righteous thing and you can get the upliftment, so that you can come out of the miseries or that stress and that chaos. Okay, so this is the importance of the sloka. So once again, let's read the sloka. Karpanya-dosopahata-svabhavah prachami tvam dharma samudda cheta yat treyasyan nishchitam bruhitanme shishyasteham sadhimam tvam taranam. So in my opinion, it is only a person who has knowledge about the Supreme Lord, who has knowledge about Shastras, who has knowledge about Puranas. It is that person who can help a person who is suffering. It is that person who can uplift the person who is suffering and then tell him what to do, do, how to be patient, and how to do the righteous thing at the right time. You go to a wrong person, any materialistic person, he might give some advices, but you never know whether if that's going to be successful or not. That is why it is always said that one should surrender to one guru who can teach about the Supreme Lord. Guru means someone who can give a direction to reach the God. Guru is not a person who says that I am God. Guru is not, someone who criticizes others. If a person is criticizing on his, some other beliefs, some other faiths, some others uh, values, then he is a critic, not a guru. Guru is not bothered about critiquing someone or criticizing someone. Okay, he is bothered about upliftment of the people. He wants to see the society going back or chanting the names of the Supreme Lord. That would be person, whom you can consider as guru. There's someone who follows cleanliness, austerity, truthfulness, who is devoid, who avoids criticism, and is who always is in bliss talking about the Supreme Lord, and who always considers himself as the servant of the Lord. So if you surrender to such kind of person, then that person can actually do some kind of good for you and for us. So with this sloka, we will stop here. Thank you so much for your participation. I hope you have understood something out of this sloka. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Sriman Narayana.